Hi folks, G3 here. In today's Eco News, greenwashing firms face new UK penalties for misleading claims, Exxon shuts down algae fuel research programme, and a study finds that garden pesticides are contributing to the British songbird decline. Right, let's get on with that news. Now, first up, we've got an article from The Guardian from mid-February saying that greenwashing firms face steep new UK fines for misleading claims. The Financial Conduct Authority has consulted on its own package of measures aimed at clamping down on greenwashing. It proposes restrictions on how certain terms such as green or sustainable can be used in investment product names and for marketing. The European Union is also to table a new law in the next few weeks, proposing fines for companies making unsubstantiated environmental claims. Now, France introduced laws in January requiring firms claiming a product is carbon neutral to report on all the greenhouse emissions of that product for its entire life cycle. George Harding Rolls, campaign manager at the sustainability organisation Changing Markets Foundation, said companies had not previously been properly tested on their green claims, and they should be required to provide all relevant evidence to back up any of their assertions. He said it's easy money to make by saying, if you buy these products, then you can make a difference. Many of these claims are misleading and not supported by evidence. Well, that's great news. Hopefully these proposed new laws will come into being because 10% of turnover is quite a significant amount and should hopefully put companies off from their greenwashing tactics. Next up, it's an article from Clean Technica. Now, this is quite a scathing article on their part, talking about Exxon shuts down algae fuel research program. And they weren't holding any punches back with this one. So, Exxon has pulled the plug on its green fuels from algae research after 15 years. Was it ever real or just a PR stunt, they say? So, in 2009, Exxon began a research program designed to extract fuels that could be used to power internal combustion engines from algae. Now, in the intervening years between then and now, it has spent almost as much money bragging about the research as it has on the research itself, they say. Now, according to Bloomberg, it has quietly shut down the program. There will be no more touchy-feely ads from Exxon touting how it is helping to solve the problem of an overheating planet. They say overheating caused in large parts by the company itself via its insatiable quest for profits. So you see, they're not holding back in this article whatsoever. After making a record $59 billion in profits in 2022, the company has decided it has milked the green fuel from algae lye long enough and shut the program down, Clean Technica say. Researchers early on noted that the price of oil would need to hit $500 a barrel before algae fuels would be cost competitive. Now, a trial at Swansea University in Wales showed that to supply 10% of Europe's transport fuel needs with algae would require growing ponds 3 times the size of Belgium. So there we go. Clean Technica go on to have quite a scathing article for the rest of it, and I include the link further down so that you can have a read of that. The final bit that I've got here is that there's a question they're able to put to Duncan Measle, Executive Director of Clean Creatives, and they said, do Exxon executives actually believe the lies their creative departments come up with? The response was that Exxon and their creative agency, BBDO, knew from the beginning that their algae fuel ads were misleading. Emails released by a House subcommittee last year showed BBDO employees discussing with Exxon communication team members about how algae fuels would never be sold to the public, but they ran tens of millions of dollars worth of ads about it anyways. Wow. Okay, so there we go. Exxon has closed down its algae fuels division, and Clean Technica were quite scathing in their observations as to what was going on here, saying exactly what a lot of us may well have been thinking. And finally, this week, we've got an article from The Guardian, and this came out towards the start of February, and it's garden pesticides are contributing to British songbird decline, a study has found. Now, the results of the University of Sussex study found that gardeners who use pesticides can expect to see fewer birds. The experiment, which surveyed 615 gardens in Britain, found 25% fewer house sparrows when glyphosate was used regularly. Now, this is an ingredient found in commonly used herbicide brands such as Roundup or Gallup. Slug pellets also seem to have an impact on bird sightings. In gardens where metaldehyde slug pellets were used, house sparrow numbers were down by almost 40%. Now, Professor Dave Goulson of the School of Life Sciences at the University of Sussex said the UK has 22 million gardens, which collectively could be a fantastic refuge for wildlife, but not if they are overly tidy and sprayed with poisons. We just don't need pesticides in our gardens. Many towns around the world are now pesticide free. We should simply ban the use of these poisons in urban areas, following the example of France. Now, the research also found that those who adopted wildlife-friendly practices, such as planting native shrubs and flowers, or digging a wildlife pond, saw more birds than those who did not. So that shouldn't really come as a surprise. If you use pesticides in your garden, you will be impacting pests which other animals are normally going to be feeding on. So songbirds are naturally going to be diminishing in numbers in your garden because they won't have a food source. So it'd be great if we were able to reduce the amount of pesticides being used in gardens and use more natural means of keeping pests at bay. That way we should hopefully see an increase in songbird numbers back in gardens. Well, there you go, folks. That was today's Eco News. If you enjoyed it, then please click the like button down below. Up next, we got this video for you that we might think you might find useful. And if you haven't done so already, then why not subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you get notified when I load up a new video. Well, thanks for watching, folks. Until next time, bye.